Listen to me closely, because I am only going to say this once, and I need you to be wide awake for it. I want you to visualize the scene that happens every single year like clockwork. It is 11:59 p.m. on December 31st. You are standing there, maybe holding a glass of cheap champagne or a lukewarm beer, surrounded by people who are just as lost as you are. The television is blaring, showing that crystal ball dropping in Times Square, and for a split second, the collective consciousness of the entire planet shifts into a state of delusional optimism. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. Your heart starts beating a little faster. You look at the year behind you, a year filled with mediocrity, missed opportunities, and financial cowardice.
And you tell yourself the biggest lie in the history of human psychology. You say to yourself, next year will be different. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. Fireworks explode, people scream, you kiss someone, and you genuinely believe that because the calendar flipped a digit, your DNA, your habits, your bank account, and your destiny have somehow miraculously transformed. Wake up. You are hallucinating. This ritual, this New Year, New Me mantra, is the single most profitable marketing campaign ever devised by the system to keep the American middle class in a permanent state of financial paralysis. You are not a phoenix rising from the ashes. You are a hamster looking at a brand new wheel that looks exactly like the old one.
Except this one has a fresh coat of paint and costs you 20% more. I am here to be the cold bucket of ice water that snaps you out of this trance. I am here to tell you that the new year does not exist. It is an arbitrary marker in time that the Matrix uses to reset your dissatisfaction meter, so they can sell you the cure for a disease they invented. You are a rat in a maze, and every January 1st, the scientists running the experiment ring a bell, and you salivate, thinking this is the year you finally find the cheese. But there is no cheese. There is only more maze. Let's dissect this pathology, because if you do not understand the architecture of this trap, you will die inside it. Think about the sheer insanity of the concept. You have spent the last 365 days reinforcing neural pathways of laziness, consumerism, and financial illiteracy. You have spent 12 months eating garbage, spending money you do not have to impress people you do not like, and avoiding the hard work required to build mental sovereignty. And you think a countdown and a plastic party hat are going to erase that? That is magical thinking. That is the logic of a child. And the system loves children because children are easy to manipulate. The New Year, New Me phenomenon is not about self-improvement. It is about revenue generation for the owners of the plantation. Look at the gym industry. This is the classic example, but we are going to go deeper than the surface-level jokes. The entire business model of a commercial gym chain is built on the mathematical certainty that you will fail. They sign up thousands of people in January. If all those people actually showed up in February, the fire marshal would shut the building down. They are banking on your weakness. They are shorting your discipline. They are literally betting against you, and they win every single time. You walk in there on January 2nd, pumped full of cheap dopamine, wearing $200 worth of new performance gear that you put on a credit card. You look around and see hundreds of other rats doing the same thing. It feels like a movement. It feels like a revolution. It is not. It is a herd of cattle moving into the slaughterhouse of good intentions. By February 15th, that gym is empty, but the payments keep hitting your credit card. You don't cancel because canceling would be admitting defeat, and your ego, your fragile little premium poor ego, cannot handle that reality. So you pay a stupidity tax of $30, $50, or $100 a month for the privilege of pretending you are the kind of person who goes to the gym. This is the modern slavery dynamic distilled to its essence. You are paying a subscription fee to maintain a fantasy identity, while the owners of the capital use your money to buy real assets. But it goes so much further than the gym. It is the New Year, New Car sales events. It is the organizational tools at Target. Have you ever noticed that the front section of every major retailer in America
turns into a shrine to getting your life together in January. Plastic bins, planners, journals, color-coded pens. You buy all of it. You spend $300 on plastic containers to organize the junk you bought last year that you haven't paid off yet. You are not organizing your life. You are rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. You get a hit of dopamine from the purchase. Swiping that card makes you feel productive. You think, I bought the planner, therefore I am organized. No, you are not. You are just a hoarder with a receipt. The act of buying the tool replaces the act of doing the work. This is how the Matrix keeps you sedated. They sell you the feeling of progress, so you never have to actually make progress. Now, I want to talk about the financial devastation this causes. Let's do some napkin math, but let's make it brutal. Let's take the average American middle-class rat. Let's call him Mike. Mike feels bad about himself in December. He ate too much, he spent too much on Christmas gifts to buy the affection of his family, and he looks at his bank account and sees a massacre. Instead of stopping, analyzing the data, and making a cold, hard strategic plan, Mike decides to double down on New Year, New Me. Mike decides this is the year he becomes a creator or an entrepreneur. So does Mike sit down and write a business plan? Does he study market dynamics? No.
Mike buys a $2,000 MacBook Pro because he needs the right tools. He buys a $500 standing desk. He signs up for a masterclass from some guru who rents a Lamborghini. He finances a new SUV because his new self needs to project success to attract success. This is the law of attraction utilized by morons. Let's look at the numbers. Mike has just added $15,000 of new debt to his balance sheet in the first 3 weeks of January. At an average credit card interest rate of 25%, and let's be honest, Mike has a mediocre credit score, so it might be higher. That debt is a cancer. He thinks he is investing in himself. In reality, he is digging a hole so deep that he will spend the next 5 years trying to climb out of it.
Just to get back to zero. That $15,000, if invested in the S&P 500 over those same 5 years, could have been the seed capital for actual freedom. But Mike doesn't understand opportunity cost. Mike only understands monthly payments. He looks at the monthly payment and says, I can afford this. That is the mantra of the slave. I can afford the payment. You are not supposed to afford the payment. You are supposed to own the asset. But the system loves Mike. Mike is the ideal battery for the Matrix. He is motivated enough to keep working his corporate job to pay the bills, but delusional enough to keep spending on things that keep him trapped. He is stuck in the golden handcuffs, except the gold is actually gold-plated plastic, and it is turning his wrists green. He is a premium poor. He drives a car that costs more than his net worth. He wears a watch that tells time just as well as his phone, but costs 6 months of his savings. He is performing wealth, cosplaying as a successful person, while his financial reality is a house of cards waiting for a stiff breeze. And this New Year psychology is the wind that keeps blowing the cards down, forcing him to rebuild them every 12 months. It is a cycle of purge and binge. You purge your bad habits for 2 weeks, and then you binge on consumption to soothe the pain of your inevitable failure. The corporations know this. They have algorithms that predict exactly when you will give up. They know the exact day in February when you will stop cooking at home and start ordering delivery again. They know the exact moment your resolve breaks, and they are there with a coupon, a notification, a nudge to welcome you back to the herd. Let's talk about the emotional aspect of this, the validation of pain. Why do you do this? Why do millions of intelligent, hardworking people fall for this scam every year? Because facing the truth is terrifying. The truth is that you are boring. The truth is that your life is the sum total of your daily habits, and your habits are trash. To change your life, you don't need a new year. You don't need a countdown. You need a lobotomy of your current personality. You need to kill the rat inside you. And that is painful. It requires a level of honesty that most people are not capable of. It is much easier to buy the illusion of change. It is easier to post a photo on Instagram with the caption, "2024 is my year," than it is to wake up at 4 in the morning every single day and work in silence for 5 years without applause. You are addicted to the applause. You are addicted to the validation of your potential rather than the reality of your results. You want people to congratulate you for starting, not for finishing. The system feeds on this need for external validation. Social media is the engine of this misery. You see everyone else posting their New Year highlight reels, and you feel the pressure to conform. You feel the fear of missing out. So you join the performance. You become another clown in the circus, dancing for likes while your bank account bleeds out. The concept of the fresh start is a toxic myth. There are no fresh starts. You carry your baggage with you. If you are bad with money on December 31st, you are bad with money on January 1st. The calendar does not wash away your sins. The compound interest on your stupidity continues to accrue regardless of what day it is. The universe does not care about your resolutions. The market does not care about your intentions. Mathematics is the only God in this room, and mathematics is ruthless. Let's dissect the credit score angle within this New Year madness. You decide to fix your credit as a resolution. So what do? You download an app that gamifies your debt. You start obsessing over a number. You think that getting your score from 680 to 720 is a victory. It is not. It is just you becoming a more attractive borrower for the banks. A high credit score just means you are a good pet. It means you eat your food when you are told, and you don't bite the hand that feeds you. The wealthy do not obsess over credit scores. They obsess over assets, cash flow, and leverage. But you, the rat, you are trained to chase the score. You treat it like a video game. Oh look, I went up 10 points. Who cares? You are still broke. You are still trading your time for money. You are still one paycheck away from disaster. But hey, at least you can qualify for a slightly lower interest rate on the next liability you buy to impress your neighbors. This brings me to the core of the issue, the logic of the system versus the logic of freedom. The system requires you to be cyclical. It requires you to operate in predictable loops. Christmas spending, New Year resolution spending, Valentine's Day spending, summer vacation spending, back to school spending. But let's look at the math of the person who escapes. Let's look at the sovereign individual. This person does not make New Year's resolutions. This person has a 10-year plan that they execute every single day, regardless of the season. When the world is celebrating and drinking on New Year's Eve, the sovereign individual is asleep or working. Why? Because they know that January 1st is just another Tuesday. They don't need a ceremonial start date because they never stopped. Imagine two people. Person A follows the New Year, New Me hype. They spend $2,000 in January on self-improvement products. They stick to the routine for 6 weeks. Then they crash. They spend the rest of the year paying off the debt and feeling guilty. Net result, negative $2,000 and a damaged self-esteem. Person B ignores the hype. They don't buy anything new. They wear their old clothes. They work out in their living room, doing push-ups until they vomit because gravity is free. They take that $2,000 and put it into an index fund, or buy books that actually teach skills, not motivation. They don't tell anyone what they are doing. They don't post about it. They just grind, day in, day out. Boring, repetitive, unglamorous work. At the end of the year, Person A is exactly where they started, just older and poorer. Person B has built a foundation. Multiply this by 10 years. Person A is a 50-year-old infant wondering where the time went. Person B is retired, or running the company Person A works for. This is the cruelty of the math of the bakery. It is simple addition and subtraction, but you refuse to look at it because it hurts. You prefer the fuzzy logic of, I deserve this. You tell yourself, I worked hard this year, I deserve a treat. No, you don't. You are a slave who worked hard for your master. You deserve freedom, but you are buying treats. You are trading your freedom for a sugar rush. I want to confront you with the image of the premium poor one more time, because this is where most of you live. You have the least luxury car, the mortgage on a house you basically rent from the bank, the subscription services for streaming platforms you fall asleep watching, the wardrobe full of fast fashion. You look successful to a casual observer, but if we hooked you up to a lie detector and asked, if you lost your job today, how long could you survive? The answer would terrify you. 3 months? 1 month? 2 weeks? That is not success. That is precariousness masked as prosperity. And the New Year hype is just the annual paint job you apply to the cracking facade of your life. So, how do we get out of this labyrinth? How do we stop being slaughter cattle for the financial industry? The solution is radical, and you are not going to like it. It requires the death of your current identity. You have to kill the consumer inside you. First, you must adopt a philosophy of extreme stoicism regarding time. Stop celebrating arbitrary dates. Every morning you wake up is a new year. Every hour is a new opportunity to not be an idiot. You do not wait for January. If you want to change, you start right now, in the middle of this video. You put down the phone, you cancel the subscriptions, you look at your bank account, and you scream at the reflection in the mirror. Second, you need to go on a dopamine detox. Stop buying things to feel better. If you are depressed, work harder. If you are anxious, save money. Stop trying to medicate your existential dread with Amazon Prime deliveries. The box on the porch is not a gift, it is a shackle. Third, embrace the boring. Real success is incredibly boring to watch. It is eating the same healthy food, doing the same work, saving the same percentage of income, over and over again until the compound interest kicks in. There is no montage sequence in real life. There is no sudden transformation. There is only the daily grind. You have to learn to love the plateau. The new year creates an expectation of vertical growth. Real growth is a slow, jagged line that trends upwards over decades. I want you to become invisible to the marketers. When they scream sale, you hear trap. When they say new you hear lies. You need to build a fortress of mental sovereignty where their signals cannot reach you. You need to become a ghost in their system. They cannot monetize a man who wants nothing. They cannot enslave a woman who is content with what she has and is building towards what she actually needs, not what they tell her she wants. This is your wake-up call. The new year is a hallucination. The old you is the only you that exists until you dismantle it brick by brick with your own bare hands, not with a credit card. Do not let another January pass where you are the punchline to their joke. Now, if you have actually listened to this entire rant, if you are still here while the rest of the dopamine junkies have clicked away to watch a cat video or a celebrity gossip clip, then maybe, just maybe, you have a spark of intelligence left. I want you to leave a comment below. I want you to write the phrase calendar burner. This is our code. This tells me that you understand that time is continuous, not segmented by marketing departments. This tells me you are done with the resolutions and ready for the revolution of the self. Calendar burner. Write it. Own it. And then turn off this screen and go look at your finances with the cold, dead eyes of a shark. The party is over. The hangover is here.
and it is time to get to work. Kill the rat inside you today, not next year, today.